Hey, it's Grace Liege Games. I'm biased. I'm biased when it comes to my channel. I'm biased when it comes to life. I am biased when it comes to board games. There, I said it. For those of you commenting, keeping track of how long it takes me to get to the topic of the video at hand, as per several comments from last week while I was on vacation, there you go. Right away at the beginning. This video is about me, my bias, my channel bias in board games, all of our biases in the board game community. Apparently, it needs to be said again. Why am I talking about this right now? Because apparently it needs to be talked about. I had a very interesting conversation / comment reaction as well while I was on vacation, of all things, for this game, the game Face to Face. Someone in the comment section thought that I couldn't give a positive review without first being paid for it, and then second, I only gave it a positive review because they asked me to give it a positive review, and when that didn't pan out, that it was because I just wanted a good relationship with the publisher. Well, here's my first response. You think I'm selling or shilling out for a $10 or $12 game? When all of the other stuff, if you looked on my channel, the bigger stuff I could have completely shilled out for ones that are raising 6 and 7 figures that I got a chance to cover. Like, you think I'm gonna do it on this if I'm not doing it on those? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense from that side of things, does it? Also, the suggestion was made that because I'm an experienced gamer, I can't like a game like this. Doesn't make any sense. How could you like a game like this as an experienced gamer? Whatever that means. Because apparently experienced means you can't play light things or things that are family friendly. Or I'm not even sure if the person listened to the whole review saying that this is a perfect game I can take out to dinner and play with my wife at. But because I liked it, because I took the time to talk about a game that I liked, view count be tossed out the window, because I knew making this video, not everyone at this channel is going to look at this video and be like, oh yeah, we should check that one out. You know, he talks about like Kickstarter games, but that $12 game from Pandasaurus that he's getting a free review copy of, you know what? I really better check that one out. No. I knew that was going to get the reaction in terms of view counts and comments that it was. I'm fine with that. Because if nothing else with this channel, I talk about things I like. That is my bias. I talk about things I like. I do this as a part-time, basement-dwelling, end of the evening, after the kids are in bed, side hobby. So I'm not going to take a lot of time to expound on things I really don't like. I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I don't have the money. I just don't have that much of any of that stuff. So the amount of time it took to play that game, make a video of it, and post it, doesn't make any sense why I would consider doing that. As I've said in all the other videos, I'm talking about the pros and the cons, because I could easily just gloss over any of the negatives in a lot of those other things that I've already mentioned. Would have been a lot easier, would have been a lot more comfortable. There are plenty of other people out there that do that. There are plenty of people out there that are getting paid for previews, that only talk about positive things because they've been paid to do so. I am not one of those people. I've not gotten any money from anybody for anything. And that's a good enough segue to say, I'm over 3,000 subscribers now, thanks to you guys. And I don't really care about getting paid. I want to put information out there for you guys. I want people, publishers, to look at me like they do some of the other bigger channels. And they say, you know what? We want the exposure. Here you go. You're going to give your full opinion on it, and we're okay with that. I'm biased. I have no qualms about it. If you've watched my channel at all, you see that I point out games over here that I like. I point out games over here that I have no interest in. But I try to be somewhat equal in the sense that, okay, let's be objective. Let's not be totally subjective in terms of what I like and what I don't like, because you'll also notice that I highlight a lot of stuff that I have no personal interest in, but I know a lot of you do, because some of you have overlap in my personal taste. That's how you found me to begin with. That's why you're subscribed. That's why you even click on it in the first place. But I know others of you differ, but you also like hearing the other stuff that's out there. And here is where the issue comes in, is people always clamor. I see it all the time on Board Game Geek. I see it on the forum sections. I see it all over the place, Twitter and everything else. Well, if you're biased, one, bias means bad. Bias has a bad connotation. Bias isn't bad. That's how you know what you like in the first place. I'm biased towards liking certain foods and drinks. Period. I'm biased liking certain types of board games, but that doesn't stop me either from getting stuff. What's bad, what's the mind-boggling thing is people shout that from the rooftops. They put a disclaimer that if you're negative, you must be more honest. Negative reviews have more weight to them. They're better. All the time, though, they don't put their money where their mouth is. I mean, you don't see people being more critical, getting more support. You don't see people being more critical, getting more subscribers, going up in that sense. And part of it is back what I said earlier. There's not enough time in the world to make me talk about things that much negatively when I just want to talk about stuff I like. At the same time, there's an overabundance of hype as well. But across the board, hype also is where people show their support. And so from a person who's making stuff out there, my bias, again, based on what you guys as the audience are showing me, makes me want to put just more positive stuff out there. Let's face the facts that nobody wants to hear or wants to talk about. You, as a viewer, are biased in what you're trying to get out of this. You are looking for someone to potentially, with a lot of these videos, reinforce your own biases on why you want a game or why you don't want a game, right? I've done that plenty of times, but I see very little acknowledgement of it on that side of things. You know, like I said, I'm clearly biased. I clearly have certain types of games that I like more than others. But am I biased in a sense that I'm just going to give positive coverage to the types of games that I like? No. In fact, you can make an argument that I like these certain types of games so much that I might be overly critical because I want them to be that much better because I'm holding them to that much higher of a degree of excellence. But again, that's not what gets the clicks though, right? This is the best game ever. Preview. That is the stuff that gets clicks. That's the stuff that gets cash. And weirdly enough, as much as people rail against that, that's also what people subscribe to, as much as they rail against it at the same time. And I'm not sure if that's just a distinct, loud minority saying, we don't like this, and then everyone else going, whatever, it's fine. Or if that's just people not putting their money where their mouth is. I don't know. It's sort of like Kickstarter in a way. People shout from the rooftops all the time, don't use this as a pre-order system. And then what do we do when the next Simon Awakened Realms game comes out? We use it as a pre-order system. So I'm not sure if it's the same thing, if those two are compatible in terms of an analogy or what. But that's where my head goes. Now, again, as a side note, I think it's okay to get paid. But I think if you're going to get paid, there should be a way for people to get paid through YouTube, through independent companies, not by publishers. I think as I have gotten to this point of over 3,000 subscribers to you guys, I talked about this at my 1,000 subscribers video going, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do those paid previews at this point. I have no interest in doing them. I can't talk positively about stuff I just do not care that much about. Other people can. I can't. I just can't. And that's okay. It's for me. For me personally, that is where I want to be. And that's okay with me. But yeah, am I at the same time, am I going to hype up some of these games I'm really interested in? Yeah. And I don't care if it's the biggest big box you've ever seen or if it's the tiniest small box $5 game off the shelf that you've ever seen. If I like it, I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to gatekeep. I'm not going to be biased in that way. It doesn't have to be yay deep, yay depth, yay heavy to be featured or talked about on my channel. If I likes it, I talks about it. If I don't, I probably won't. Also, if you want to talk about this, my bias again with this thing, my bias is that I asked them for a copy of this because I thought I would like it. I'm not also one of those people out there getting like these massive packages you see on social media, like, okay, here's my haul from this company and this company. They sent me 3 or 4 of their games and 3 or 4 of their games. No, I only have interest in stuff I have an interest for. Stonemeyer sends something out once a month, basically. Did it with Red Rising, haven't done it with anything else in the 4 or 5 months I've been doing that. Have no interest in them. Not going to talk about them on my channel. But I know a lot of other people, they just get whatever they can, talk about it all, and sell it or trade it away to get other stuff. I mean, I see people on TikTok doing the same thing. They're like, let me post my haul. Let's see how much loot. I mean, it's sort of a brag. It's sort of, to use a quote from a local radio station, braggadocio, where you're bragging about, you know, how much free stuff I got, and there you go. But again, this is the stuff that people are clicking on and going after. It's the same thing with like US TV shows, right? People wonder why NCIS is like this highly super rated high show, and it's not a good show. It's got so many obvious plot holes. It's got so many obvious issues, but people don't want to also critically think. They want their own biases reinforced about a certain stereotype. And that show does it in that way. And some channels do it, and some content does it in this way. Again, to each their own, but let's also not pretend being biased across the board is the same thing. And so I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You can be biased, and then you can be biased. Don't equate the two as being exactly the same. Okay, that's all I got. That went on for way too long. I'm sorry if I got a little passionate there. A few people in the comment section last week while I was on vacation got a little bit snippy about making comments about how I must be inebriated or high when I make a passionate video, which, again, I never understand that. Like, what's the point? Are you really feeling the need to be that rude online to somebody you don't know? Just people some days. Don't be that person. Anyway, that's enough for that soapbox. Stay classy. Have a great day. I'll see you around.